We're back with Alden Chodash of AldenBoxing.com. Yesterday, Alden, you got a chance to see the Edison Miranda Arthur Abraham first fight in its entirety. What's your impressions?
There really isn't too much to say. The fight was fraught with unfortunate events, terrible officiating, that broken jaw, which affected Abraham in a huge way, but the officiating affected Miranda vitally as well. So it really was hard to find a clearly superior fighter over the two. It looked like Miranda carried the fight to Abraham for the majority of the fight. When Abraham started to open up, he would either stun Miranda, keep him against the ropes, steal rounds, definitely score points. So it was hard for Miranda to win certain rounds because of the way Abraham rallied. But on the other hand, Miranda dictated the pace in almost every round and outworked Abraham in almost every round. So Abraham definitely, if he expects to win, he'd have to open up a lot more frequently against Miranda. And if Miranda expects to win, he'd have to keep from shelling up as he did in the first fight with Abraham when Abraham opens up. I'd have to probably lean towards Miranda because he's the more active fighter, and probably and almost definitely Miranda won't get cheated out of a victory as he may have been in their first fight because of officiating. He's a favorite in the Hard Rock. He's fought there his last fight and his last two fights actually. I think he should win. I think he's going to get a fair shake from the officials also, and that's also a big factor in deciding the outcome of this bout.
Don't you think Abraham, his tactics had to have changed after the busted jaw? And don't you think he'll be a little more active throughout the fight, assuming that he doesn't take a severe injury like that?
Before the fourth round, in which I believe he hurt his jaw, broke his jaw, fourth or fifth round, Miranda, the bout looked exactly the same, really, except after the fifth round, Miranda's punches had a lot more effect on them because Abraham would either move away from Miranda. He wasn't taking Miranda's punches as well after he broke his jaw for a good reason because his jaw was terribly distorted. But the fight looked basically the same even before the injury occurred. So I think Miranda should win it this time.
You've seen Abraham in the past, though. Is this the way he normally fights?
It's a stylistic problem against Miranda. Abraham is used to covering up, shelling up, and then opening up against his opponents, usually putting them out in the late rounds. But against Miranda keeps him on the defenses for a longer period of time because he is so much stronger than the majority of Abraham's opponents.
Okay, so bottom line, you're expecting a Miranda victory on Saturday.
Yeah, I think he's going to outwork Abraham as he did in the first fight, and I'm hoping and expecting him to get a fair shake from the officials.
Okay, on Showtime Friday, a day earlier, Andre Ward is being featured. He's facing Jerson Ravello, 18-2. Both losses coming by stoppage, including an Allen Green defeat. What do you expect from that fight?
He showed a lot against Allen Green, just to clarify that. He looked very impressive against Allen Green, and that restored his confidence in a way after the defeat in the Contender, I believe. But it's a really even matchup, both of them. They're both on the way up. They're both learning. Both have faced adversity at some point in their careers. And
Jerson Ravello fought in the Contender Series?
I believe. I'm not too sure about that, but in some way he was connected to the Contender by getting a shot at Allen Green when he fought on the undercard of Peter Manfredo versus Joey Spina. I'm not sure, but he did fight on the Contender team when they went to England and faced England in that rivalry. But
so you think this could be a tough assignment for Andre Ward?
They're both on the same stage, really. They're both learning. Both are upcoming prospects. Andre Ward is probably the better skilled fighter of the two. But Jerson Ravello is a determined individual. I think Andre Ward's better. His advantage in overall boxing skill will probably give him an advantage. But it should be one of the toughest fights of his career, if not the toughest.
Okay. Saturday, HBO, Andre Berto versus Miguel Rodriguez, 29-2. Berto should stay unbeaten?
Yeah. Miguel Rodriguez hasn't done much. His most notable bout was a loss to Carlos Baldomir before Baldomir even defeated Zab Judah when Baldomir was just a mere unknown. That's the only notable fight on Miguel Rodriguez's record, and that helps to persuade us that Andre Berto should become the new WBC welterweight champion, and look forward to bigger things, such as unifying the division.
Okay. Chris Arreola is also on TV on HBO versus Chaz Witherspoon. What should we expect from that fight?
They both like to fight on the inside. That's their style. I think Arreola has better conditioning. He's more determined, definitely a bigger puncher. And I think he'll end up outworking Chaz Witherspoon down the stretch.
Okay. Miguel Kessler's back in action in Europe this weekend. First fight since November's loss to Calzaghe. Faces German fighter Dimitri Sartison, who is 22-0. But Kessler should get back on the winning ways?
Yeah, definitely. You just hear the name Sartison and kind of convinces you that it is probably a pushover or tune-up. Never heard of this guy. But he's kept in Russia. Maybe he's a secret that's ready to explode on Miguel Kessler. I doubt it, because Kessler has proved he's still probably one of the best super middleweights in the world. I'd like to see it maybe on YouTube if it's not televised, just to see where Miguel Kessler stands in terms of his confidence right now after the first loss of his career against Calzaghe. But I think he's still one of the best 168-pounders in the world right now.
Okay. De La Hoya's fight, of course, is off with Floyd Mayweather. Names being mentioned, Sergio Mora. First of all, let's just run them down one by one. Do you think De La Hoya should fight Mora? Is that of any interest to people?
I think that's the problem. It's not as much of interest to people as another name would be. I mean, De La Hoya, regardless of who he's fighting, is always a huge fight. But Sergio Mora is an awkward style. It's probably not the best stylistic matchup for De La Hoya if he wants to look good, if he wants to end his career maybe with a bang. Sergio Mora would give him trouble, if not beat him. But although it would be hard for Sergio Mora to get a decision, De La Hoya definitely wouldn't look good, and he wouldn't make as much money as he would want to against easier opposition, and probably opposition that would make for a more lucrative bout.
Of course, the Miguel Cotto Margarito winner is also a possibility for De La Hoya. But you said in the past that Cotto would humiliate De La Hoya.
I don't remember saying he'd humiliate De La Hoya. I think De La Hoya's class would make it an interesting fight. De La Hoya always comes in shape. He's fighting in front of a huge crowd, and he's fighting basically for his legacy, being one of the last bouts of his career. He would make a good showing. I don't think he would beat Miguel Cotto. I think Miguel Cotto is just too strong, too hungry, too young for Oscar De La Hoya, and I think he understands that. I'm not sure if he would take that fight for that reason.
Are there any other names that come to your mind?
Felix Trinidad, maybe. It would be good.
What weight would they fight at, then?
They could fight at a catch weight at about 160 pounds. If Trinidad can make it all the way down, maybe probably 165 would probably be more likely. Trinidad De La Hoya 2 would probably be one of the smarter moves De La Hoya could make, try to avenge an earlier loss. That would be a great way to end his career. Another great way would probably be to fight Shane Mosley again, try to avenge a loss. But there's a much bigger chance that Mosley would beat De La Hoya again because of the fact that Mosley's been active, and he may just have Oscar De La Hoya's number, as De La Hoya stated earlier in their careers. But that would be a very lucrative fight.
But as business partners, it's unlikely, though.
Yeah, in that regard as well, it could be very unlikely.
And as I was saying, how do you think Trinidad would ever get down? He had trouble making the weight against Roy Jones.
At 170, well, I think De La Hoya, the name De La Hoya would push Tito to get down to the weight. There'd be a lot of money involved in that fight. Definitely, it'd be huge for both of their careers. I think if there's any fight that Tito would force himself to get down to the 160-pound limit, even if they would fight, and it would be at that limit, it would be against De La Hoya.
Okay, Amir Khan is in action this weekend versus Michael Gomez, a veteran, 35-8 record. Amir Khan, an expected winner?
Yeah, definitely. He's a very good fighter, and he's working his way up the lightweight division. Michael Gomez is probably a has-been, and Khan should take something from that bout, because even with Gomez being a has-been, Amir Khan can learn a lot from that fight. He most likely would go 12 rounds, as he has in the past. It's a very good experience for Amir Khan, who's getting closer and closer to a bout for the title, which I think he already deserves right now.